Hello, everyone. This is your lecturer, Hajirah Farooq, and today I'll be discussing the summary of the Introduction to Business Operations and Management module for the semester 2, cohort 12, for week 1 and 2. The module code for this module is BMM 3003. So starting off with the first week, in the first week, the learning outcomes were basically just a course overview. We just wanted to go over what the course was like and just welcome the students back to the college. The course objectives throughout the course will be to develop a deep understanding of key concepts in business operations management, to acquire practical skills for optimizing business operations, and to apply your knowledge to real-world business scenarios. Moving forward, we discuss the learning outcomes and the summary of the contents. So there are 4 learning outcomes for this particular module of BOM. The first one is to demonstrate an understanding of business operations and management. The second one is to explain the key concepts of effective operations strategy. The third one is to explain the role and scope of business management. And the last one, the fourth one, is to contextualize the knowledge within a real business. In this module, the students will research about different types of organizations and contextual situations from public and private organizations. They will be studying different case studies and business operations. They will be encouraged to participate in the discussions based on their knowledge and experiences of different types of organizations. So the course structure basically consists of 12 weeks of teaching. Each week will be covering some essential topics. You will be gradually building up your understanding from week to week, ensuring a comprehensive grasp of business operations. Then this slide basically just tells you about some resource and support that you have, some of the core and recommended readings that you can do to further advance your knowledge and study experience. And you have the access to all of these recommended readings via your Moodle and your online library. And for further support, you can contact the academic support department. So starting off with the reflective report, which is going to be the assignment in this particular module. What is a reflective report? That was something that we brainstormed in the class at the beginning of the class. And then there's this video that we watched. It's available on Moodle in your week 1 slides for semester 2, cohort 12. Then we further discussed our discussion in the class about what is reflective report. Then we did some review of the first semester, some revision of the first semester. We had a class activity where the students had to answer 2 of the questions provided on the slides, which are number 1, what knowledge did you obtain in semester 1 in BOM module? And the second one was there any knowledge or information that surprised you? So the students were allowed to check the PowerPoint slides for semester 1 while answering the above mentioned questions. Then we continued this activity forward, and then this was basically the end of the first week, and we also kind of pre-capped what we are going to do in the next week. So this is about the week 1. Moving on to the second week, we had moving on to the second week. The learning outcomes for that session of the second week were the review of Gibbs reflective cycle and the review of smart business objectives and pest analysis. So we started off with the Gibbs reflective cycle, which is one of the most famous cyclical models of reflection that leads you through 6 different stages of exploring an experience. These 6 stages include description, feelings, evaluation, analysis, conclusion, and action plan. Then we watched a video to further expand our understanding of the Gibbs reflective cycle. Then we discussed each of these steps very carefully. So the description stage is the first stage. Here you have a chance to describe the situation in detail. The main points to include here concern what's happened. Your feelings and conclusions will always come later on because this is a step-by-step framework to follow. So everything will be expressed in a step-by-step manner. The stage 2 is feelings. Here you explore any feelings or thoughts that you had during the experience and how they may have impacted the experience. The third stage is evaluation. Here you have a chance to evaluate what worked and what didn't work in the situation. Try to be as objective and honest as possible. To get the most out of your reflection, you have to focus on both the positives and the negatives of the situation. even if it was primarily one or the other. The fourth stage is analysis stage. The analysis step is where you have a chance to make sense of what has happened up until now. You have focused on details around what happened in the situation. Now you have a chance to extract meaning from it. You want to target the different aspects that went well or poorly and ask yourself why. If you are looking to include academic literature, this is your natural place to include that academic literature and your references and your in-text citations. The fifth stage is the conclusion stage. In this section, you basically can make conclusions about what has happened. This is where you summarize your learning and highlight what changes to your actions could improve the outcome in the future. It should be a natural response to the previous sections. And the last stage, the stage six, is the action plan. At this step, you plan for what you would do differently in a similar or related situation in the future. It can also be extremely helpful to think about how you will help yourself to act differently, such that you don't only plan that you will do differently, but also you will make sure that it happens. Sometimes just the realization is enough, but other times reminders might be helpful. Then we had an activity of reflect and learn about a reflective thinking process. And then we again reviewed the first semester's topics. We revised what are the smart business objectives via an activity. And then another activity was done to further clarify the importance and the role and the meaning of smart business objectives or goals. Then we also watched a video about the pest analysis. Then we did a little class activity, a very engaging activity about the pest analysis. And that was it for the first 2 weeks of the Business Operations and Management module for semester 2, cohort 12. Thank you so much. If you have any further questions or if you want more detail about the module, then you can access Moodle at any time and get the access to all the lecture slides, weekly lecture slides, and the pre and post activities as well. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.